Miss SA.
She was born in South Africa to a South African mother. Why is she facing this backlash? She's definitely South African, right? We still don't have a women's football league in the country. All these women, great female football players that we have, are playing in Mexico.
Mexico.
Rufilo Jane played for AC Milan.
The LGBTQI component in sports. What's your view on that? Welcome back to Palatable Politics, a show where we take the complexity out of politics and make it palatable for you. With me, your host, TJ Maslela. Welcome to the show. In today's session, in line with Women's Month, we're going to be discussing women in sports. Here to give us insight and make it palatable is none other than a coach, a producer, an activist, a podcaster. I did mention coach, right?
Yes.
And coach of a boys team.
Yes.
Basketball coach.
Former coach.
My bad. Former coach.
Yeah.
Koketso, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I see you slid an activist there.
Yeah. I couldn't
You
do
enjoy
before.
calling me an activist.
No, but you are.
Okay.
Walk us through your journey. How did you get into all these 6,000 different streams of I guess, doing what you want?
They all stem from my love for sport. And that dates back from, I guess, even before I was born. So I was born into a sports family.
Okay.
I swear, like it was written in the stars. I was born into a sports family. So both my parents introduced me to all these sports that I now love. My mom introduced me to tennis, dad football, mom basketball as well. And then from there, I just started following sports. I mean, this is a great time in my house right now because of the Olympics. So we get to spend more time together. So yeah, it dates back before I was born. And funny enough, I didn't think I could make a living off of this. So I grew up thinking, okay, I go to school. When I was in school, I was very opinionated. Still am. Still very opinionated. And people around me encouraged me to study law. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, cool. I'll study this law thing and then we'll see how it goes. And I thought I was going to enjoy it until first year. I remember first year. Oh my God. So the modules, everything was fine with me. I didn't have a problem until we went to court. And I was like, I don't think I can do this thing. And then I had a chat with my parents and they were like, okay, rather corporate. Like try yourself out in corporate law.
Okay.
And I did VAC work. And I was like, guys, this is not it. I won't lie to you. This is not it. So I left. When did I leave? It's 2018 or 17. I'm not sure. Didn't graduate. No plan. My plan was YouTube. I was like, yeah, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to be great. And then I'll make money off of YouTube. I'll be fine.
And Fast Break was the start of it, hey?
No, not really. This is way before Fast Break, actually. Maybe 2 years before Fast Break.
Okay.
Yeah, so dropped out and then started this YouTube thing. I did it for like 6 months. At home, just chilling, 6 months. And then Homecoming Events called me up. They needed an intern. I was like, okay, cool. Let me try myself out with this internship thing. Let me just get some money.
Okay.
And yeah, just being in that space opened my world up to where I am now.
You've highlighted your family brought you into, basically exposed you to sports.
100%, yeah.
And I assume it was your father that misled you into Barcelona and those.
I'm the only one in my family who supports Barcelona, by the way.
Oh, so you went straight by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very intentional.
The activist component, which you still deny being an activist?
I don't deny it, but I don't know. I've never really like identified. I've never really called myself an activist, but people around me do say that, and I don't shy away from that title. It's just I feel like maybe it comes natural. Like, like it's not a thing that I'm like doing, if that makes sense. Like it just so happens to be.
Your vision please say your vision as to how it should be in terms of the role of a woman. Mm-hmm. How would you define that?
In society?
Both society and sports.
In sports.
Is there a difference, actually?
Actually, no, really.
Okay.
So I don't think there's a difference between like a role of women in society and sports. I was raised, by women telling me that, yeah, our job is to nurture, our job is to do this, which is true. And I do not deny that at all. But I also think that women are respected, but it's very selective, if that makes sense. Like, you only respect me if it benefits you.
Okay, give me an example.
Right? So, for example, relationships, right? Wife, husband. Okay. 100%, right? With a wife and a husband. So, a husband will respect their wife. Apparently, it's the wife who runs the household, right? But most husbands wouldn't feel comfortable with their wives earning more than them. You know what I mean?
Because of, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is that because of just the fact that they earn more, or is it because of the perceived treatment from women of the man earning less or not providing?
What treatment?
No, the whole thing of disrespect or talking down or not treating us.
Is that the perception that women who earn more than their partners are disrespectful?
I would assume that some people have a lived reality, and that lived reality doesn't necessarily make it a general thing or a fact as to how all women, but there definitely is that component. To what extent, I don't know.
But contextualizing it, right? Like, when has that ever happened? And even if it happened, how many, like, it's probably like 2% out of how many percent?
Okay. No,
See what I mean?
Fair. But then still on that pay thing, why do you think it is, or what is the basis for men getting paid more than women when they play the same sport for the same amount of time with the same rules?
I have very mixed opinions about this, right?
Okay.
So let's just take it outside of sport, right?
All right.
Outside of sport, it really just stems from sexism. It literally, there's nothing else. There's no way you can explain it outside of sexism, right? But when you shift it in sports, though, so sports makes most of their money from broadcasting rights. And the more expensive or in demand your rights are in each sport, like for tennis, basketball, etc., the more money these athletes make. But broadcasting right needs everyone to watch this thing. That's what creates the demand. So it makes sense why, even though the activity is the same, it makes sense why male athletes make more money than female athletes. Because commercially, there's no demand in the broadcasting rights of female sports.
Which essentially now you're saying it's a societal, well, not say issue, but a lack of interest from society in
100%
sports.
100%.
How do you build that?
How do you build interest?
Yeah.
So, case in point, I don't know if you've been following the WNBA. Or actually, please tell me you haven't, because then I just want to see something, right? Have you heard of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Like, nothing. Most people have. But anyways, So they are selling out, well, even before joining WNBA. So they had like a huge rivalry in college basketball in the US, right? And they were selling out arenas there as college athletes. Then they moved over to the WNBA. Still sold out arenas and stuff. And that's because that rivalry. So I feel that in any sport, there needs to be a story. There needs to be a hero. There needs to be a villain. We've seen that, I think it was 2020, when Drive to Survive was making like a huge, they gained a lot of viewers because of, well, F1 gained a lot of views because of Drive to Survive. Because Drive to Survive really drew up that story of, this is the hero, this is the villain, this is what's happening in this world. And then from there, people get engaged. We see that in La Liga. Messi, Ronaldo, we needed that rivalry.
More Ronaldo, but yeah.
We're not getting into that. But once they left, there was no interest. There was no interest. Jude is playing for Real Madrid, but still La Liga is still quiet. Mbappe is joining Real Madrid, but there's no villain. It's just stars in one league.
Okay, no, understand. That's on the field. Mm-hmm. Now, more into your space as an analyst.
Yeah.
One, would you say we've progressed from, I know that there was a time when women weren't necessarily given a role and it's like, okay, they don't understand sports, What was your experience of getting in?
I had but I'm also very young, right?
Okay.
So my experience, I've never had like backlash or people doubting me, or even if they did, I honestly didn't notice.
Okay.
And that's because I'm young, but that's because of the people that came before me. And they are the ones who are telling me that back then they had to prove themselves 10 times, more than the people right next to them, the male colleagues right next to them. So yeah, no, for me, it was never that hard. It's actually easier and made easier by the woman who came before me.
The role of the state, how would you say they have done in terms of building or allowing or creating an environment for women's sports to grow?
Okay. I'm trying to contextualize it, right? So if we look at Banyana Banyana from 2008 or 2010, right,
Okay.
to now, it grew. Like the profile of those female athletes grew. The profile of that team grew, right? We now know more about them. We know how good they are. And the fact that they win is amazing, right? But then we still don't have a league, a women's football league in the country, which is also very like, okay, I feel like it has progressed, but there's certain things like I believe in great foundations, and we still lack with those foundations. Same thing with cricket.
Whose responsibility is it to build a league? Because I'd assume all these leagues, when we have DSTV league,
100%. So
what league?
It's definitely the government, because the league then develops the talent that is within the country.
Okay.
Right? So it's definitely the government's responsibility to say, hey, we have so much talent, but it's not seen. Let's create a platform that is, because if we don't, we lose. All these women, great female football players that we have, are playing in Mexico.
Mexico.
Rufino Jane played for AC Milan.
Okay.
That's insane. Why are they not playing here? Because there's no league.
But why is this also not being profiled? Or
Why are they
was
not
it
being
and I missed
covered?
it? Yeah. Is it something I missed, or they haven't been profiled?
So they do get profiled, but I won't lie. I think also looking at our media landscape, we only have like 2 huge media companies, right? So we have like your SuperSport, your ACBC. That's just 2. And those are the major ones. And then after that, it's like these small magazines out there. We have Palatable Politics covering sports or women in sports. But it's the media landscape that we found ourselves in. Because if you look in, for example, the UK, there's Sky Sports, there's BBC, there's in the Premier League, there's Women's Premier League. There's so many other media houses that are covering or profiling these women. Same thing in the US. There's Fox News, there's ESPN, I can go on and on and on. But here, only 2. So, and what they do, right? What the big boys do, like the SuperSport, SABC, all they do is literally just cover the games.
What should they do in addition to that?
They should, but in addition to that, tell their stories.
Okay. Now just the profiling component.
100%.
And then moving outside of our borders. Well, okay. We don't know inside. But moving outside of our border. The LGBTQI component in sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always been that chat about trans men, women. What's your view on that?
Whew, very heavy. So my view is, actually it's not heavy, it's very simple.
Okay.
My view is it shouldn't be the case. If you're born a woman, you need to be competing with women. If you're born as a male, you need to be competing with males. Simple as that. Whether one has an advantage over the other, doesn't matter. That's the nature of sports. Everyone has an advantage over the other.
So you would be I guess you would favor with the critics of the Olympics, the boxer,
Imani, yeah.
She shouldn't be.
But she's not trans.
Oh, it's her chromosome. That's
100%.
So with regards to the chromosome, do you have an issue there? Or
No. She was born. She can't help it.
Okay.
She honestly can't help it. What should she do? Right? So similar thing that happened with Caster Semenya.
Yes.
There was nothing that she could have done. And now, was it IWAF, I think, when they said she needs to start injecting herself to release her testosterone. No, but that's like doping. And we know that they're against doping. So, what is it? Because there's no consistencies. Even with Imani, right? She was disqualified for some league. So before the Olympics, she was disqualified in some league. 100%. But then the Olympics, well, she qualified for the gender test for the Olympics, right?
What is the gender test?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Because it's, I was born this way. Check my birth certificate and go with it. You know what I mean? And the fact that she was disqualified at I wouldn't say, she was disqualified at a league level, but then the IOC sees her as woman.
IOC?
Yes, International Olympic Committee.
Okay.
It shows that there's no consistency. The only consistency is actually just to take her birth certificate and go with it.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think there's a reason why these things don't appear in men's sports? Because in men's sports, you never hear of high testosterone, low testosterone, estrogen.
What's good? But, yes, 100%. And I'll tell you why, right? So the more testosterone you have, the more of a physical advantage you have,
like
right?
strength, speed.
100%. And in sports, everything is, majority, you use your physique. You need that physical advantage. So in male sports, not really, because the more testosterone you have, great, bro. Okay. Great. But
there
the other side,
to be disadvantaged.
100%.
So if you were president for a day, how would you go about addressing these? Well, in SA, but we don't have those challenges in SA, do we? But did Caster ever have any challenges with regards to competing in SA?
No. It's the IWAF.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I was president, how would
I?
The way it was before, I don't think it's really that difficult. Just take the people. Same way it happens in the male side. If someone says, I was born male, great. Someone says, I was born female, great. But now don't go alter yourselves.
Okay.
Trying to don't do that.
Okay.
Because that's not your natural. You were not born like that.
Let's say it was like that I decided, hey, I would like to identify as a woman.
Okay.
Do you think it's fair for me now to be disqualified for competing in a sport?
So what do you mean? So you're a male?
Yeah, and now let's say I want to be a Jenner. What was the name? That person.
No, it's.
But I have a love for sports.
Okay.
Should I be disqualified or not allowed or have the right to participate in sports?
I feel like it should be its own category. Same way there's men's 200 meters, females 200 meters. There needs to be a trans 200 meters. So trans men, trans women.
Okay. And then now, once again, coming back home. Miss SA.
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on that? With regards to one of the contenders, I've just forgot her name, but about her nationality.
Is it Chidema?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
The Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on that?
So she was born here in South Africa
Yes.
to a South African mother, Nigerian father.
In sports, we do see it, where a person, your Pogba, there are many. Why do you think it's different here?
So I actually had a conversation with my brother because I really didn't see it like that, right? So I was like, I don't understand why this is so hard. She was born in South Africa to a South African mother. Why is she facing this backlash? She's definitely South African, right? But then he was like, I'm 50-50 because in sports, I look down upon the African athletes who elevate the football in Europe when they could just bring it here. France being the obvious example, right?
That whole team.
But I think the difference with that, I feel like the difference with them is the fact that, for example, Belgium, who's this guy, Lukaku? Both parents are Congolese.
Okay.
So
where was he born?
In Belgium.
Okay.
But you see the difference there. So you were born as a Congolese. Like none of your parents are Belgium or from Belgium. But I also don't see a problem with him support or like representing Belgium in football. The only problem I have is the fact that, man, you could use that skill to elevate us, yeah. But there's nothing wrong with you going there. Like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, fine, fair enough.
Because even with the Miss SA incident, she has the South African experience. Like she grew up in Soweto. Stays in Cape Town now. But like she grew up in, like she understands, she grew up South African. Like there's nothing else that she can do.
Okay. Now moving to the men's side of sports, the sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that, I mean, we have a rugby team that does well. We've got a cricket team that does well.
Does it?
Okay, but I mean, they get there. They get to the final. That should be something.
Okay.
They qualify for, I don't know what the qualification in cricket is, but I mean, they're generally there.
Okay.
Choke, different chat.
Mm-hmm.
Football.
Are they not there?
What are we doing wrong?
Wait, do you feel like we're not there?
Do you see Bafana entering a tournament as favorites or top 3, top 5 contenders?
But that's so unfair though.
Okay.
That's unfair. So, okay, you started with rugby doing fairly well, cricket doing fairly well.
Yes.
And Bafana not really. But out of the 3, cricket has never won anything. But Bafana has an AFCON.
Okay.
Rugby, the World Cup.
Yeah.
Cricket has never won anything. How many countries play cricket? Compared to football?
Yeah, football's
far less, right?
Yeah, football's
and they still can't
80%.
win. Why is that? Right? Similar thing with rugby, actually. Compared to football, how many countries play rugby? So I don't think
probably less than cricket again.
Yes. So why should now South Africa be the favorites? If South Africa is getting to the semi-finals, I'm happy. Actually, even round of 16, quarterfinals, I'm happy. Because checking the landscape of our football, you watch the UEFA Champions League. Mm-hmm. It's insane for us to actually compare themselves to them. We're a third world country also.
How does that...
Resources.
Okay.
Money.
That's at the grassroots level, right?
100%. But even domestic league.
Okay. Yeah, the PSL.
100%.
It doesn't compete with. How do we get there?
How do we get there?
Yeah.
I think... Okay, right now I think we're on the right track, right? Banyana, they still AFCON reigning champions. We just need a league. We need a professional football league for the women.
Okay.
With Bafana, the domestic league is doing incredibly well, right? We attract other players from African countries around. And we compete with Morocco, who is deemed, or North Africa, which is deemed as like the best football in the continent. So I think we're on the right track. AFCON, I think we came third. We came third earlier this year, for the AFCON.
Yes. Huh? Did we beat?
We came third.
Okay.
We came third.
Yeah, we lost to Nigeria and then we...
There you go.
Okay.
Right. So we're on the right track. The only thing that needs to change is the federation.
Palo, you're done.
Okay. The federation needs to change.
Chat for a different day.
100%.
Okay, all right. And then For any woman out there, girl, high school, whatever, what advice would you give them if they wanted to follow in your steps or the foundation you're laying?
I hope that I've created like a blueprint, because I didn't have a blueprint, and I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this or where I'm going. So I hope that
You did a good job.
Thank you. So I hope that I've created a blueprint for them to follow, so that they don't have to look around and figure out a path into, for example, being an analyst, being a content producer. And I hope that more than anything, they believe in themselves. Sounds very cliche. I know. But you need to be delusional, bro. You need to be crazy.
Is it delusional? It must be delusional to assume that you can do something.
But you need to be, because it doesn't make sense. How do I drop out of law school to start a YouTube channel? Like, that's insane. Like, what the hell, bro?
My child will go back to school.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
my child will go back to school.
That's crazy. You need to be delusional. Because I've never had, I think the only thing that kept me going was like, I've never actually heard anyone say, yeah, I tried and I failed. Everyone who's tried has gotten there. Nobody turns back and is like, I did this thing, I tried, and it's been tough, eh?
You don't think that that's also a thing of, if you fail, you go back to law, and your story, there's no story to tell.
Oh, no. No, not really.
Okay. Nonetheless.
Because everyone who says, I'm going there, I don't know how, I don't know the route, they always get there.
Which includes, like saying the Banyana players, that there's no league, but...
We managed to become African champions. They managed to play in Europe, in North America, which is also a great system there.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's long overdue. And happy Women's Month.
Of course.
Yeah. Guys, I hope that's been insightful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, like us. Let us know what you would like to hear from who, when, etc. Thank you. Same place, same time.